Hey guys, and welcome back with Katie's Review Chat. So today we're going to be reviewing streaming and movies and kind of how it's working, going on with all this COVID issues happening right now. We're going to talk about how have box offices been affected, what's going on with their incomes, how our award show is being handled now that a lot of the requirements are to be, shown in a theater, and now we can't because they're not available. So we've got two really good friends here today. We got Joshua Carter and Kyle McElroy. They are going to give us their perspective and opinions on all these topics and where we're going from here. And we're just going to have a lovely little chat today about these movies, awards, and box offices and how it happens. All right, guys, so as promised, we're going to sit here and talk about how box offices are affected with a lot of the movie releases. As we know, a lot of the really big movies, Mulan, Marvel's Black Widow, and Eternals, they all got pushed back for a later release date. But then you had other movies like Disney's Artemis Fowl that went straight to streaming.
With Artemis Fowl, it may not have been the best bet to completely go away from a theatrical release. There's probably money to be made after this is over that they're going to be missing out on now. But with Disney, I guess they don't really have to worry about that so much because they have their new streaming service. They're making money off of people's subscriptions, so they're probably just looking at the bigger picture of Disney releases in theater and saying, hey, we'll be fine with just releasing the ones that we're releasing, and we'll recoup whatever money we need to, that way.
I agree. When it comes to Artemis Fowl, I think what they actually were doing was they did not expect a huge turnout theater-wise. I would assume, which is why they allowed it to go straight to streaming. As for the movies that went to Disney and went straight to streaming, like Frozen 2 and onward, I think because they'd already brought in a lot of revenue prior to it when it was already released in theaters, they pretty much had already milked it for what it was for originally, and so they were okay with streaming.
Yeah, but let's be real, Frozen 2 is going to make more money in merchandise anyway.
No,
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
That's just going to go insane. But then you have other production companies, I guess I should say, is that DreamWorks had Trolls World Tour, who went straight to renting through was Amazon. You rent it right away for basically the price of, on average, I guess we'll say, the price of a movie ticket for 48 hours. And how would that have compared?
They did that with the Apple Store as well.
They did that with what one?
They did it with the Apple Store as well. So the iTunes
Yep.
did the exact same thing. You could rent it for 24 hours for $20, or 48 hours, for $20. And if you come from a family like I do, my kids, they love watching this movie. They watched it more than a dozen times in the 48 hours, and it was rented a second time because of that. So they're, of course, bringing in the revenue with that style of release. But when it comes to box offices and the popcorn and the sales and stuff that goes into that, they definitely could have made more if they had done it in theaters. But
yeah, but the production company is not going to see any money from popcorn. That's just going to be a theater itself.
Yeah, no,
true, but I'm just talking about economics in as a whole.
Well,
yeah, no, the big money for DreamWorks, especially for Trolls World Tour, I think they found a way to recoup some of their box office loss. They did the basically you're paying for your movie theater quote unquote experience by being able to rent it on the release date, more or less, and then you get to watch it before everybody else does, and that's what you're paying for. It's not quite the full box office experience, obviously, but you get some of that, excitement of being able to see movies before other people get to see it when it's possibly released later on, Hulu or whatever streaming service it goes to.
Okay, you talk about a movie experience. Quiet Place 2 from Paramount Pictures specifically held their movie because they wanted you to have the movie experience. He said, yeah, I know you two have seen the first one. I did not see the first one.
Yeah.
But from everything that I have heard you guys talk about, or everything everybody's talked about, is that it's completely different when you watch it in theaters with a group of people as opposed to you watching it like at home by yourself.
Or on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I want to say Quiet Place 2 had plans to do a theatrical release later. I don't know if they're doing a dual thing. I haven't looked that far into that movie.
No, they are.
But
They're releasing it later, but they're not not doing it necessarily for the money. They're doing it because they wanted the experience. Now, it's a little bit more of an indie film, I guess. I mean, I know Paramount Pictures is producing it and all that kind of stuff, but John Krasinski is the one directing it. And he seems to have the one that really has like the hold on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, from what I understood, was that John Krasinski, just like he did with the first movie, he's all about the experience itself. I think he said it in an interview, months ago, if not a year or two ago, when the first one came out. He doesn't really care about the profits as much as he does about giving the people a really good suspenseful thriller and giving them a really good experience. So for him to hold this movie so that he could do it again, it just leads credence to the kind of director that he is, coming from where he started at and so on.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that each production company, each director is handling the release of their films differently. Whether they think we can just push this straight to streaming, or this is an experience that is better put into that we wait and put in the theater. They're making those calls on a case by case basis. So I think everybody's kind of doing the best they can given the circumstances.
So basically, as a consensus, though, all production companies, unless they really felt like this was going to be a huge blockbuster and make a boatload of money for them, we're just going to put it on streaming.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the consensus.
I mean, because Black Widow, you're not telling me that that's not going to break some records.
Oh,
it is.
Definitely.
Especially how Avengers Endgame ended.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to go see Scarlett Johansson. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Everybody wants to go. This whole, I think it's going to be like a 1 to maybe 2 quarter bust for a couple of these, well, for pretty much everybody, but then after that, it's not even, they're going to make up for it because everyone's going to be dying to get out of their homes anyway.
Well, I think one of the big things for Disney is Disney Plus. That's a new thing that they're introducing, and that's $8 a pop for 50 million new subscribers. So that's a new monthly revenue that they didn't have previously. Sure, they're going to get hit in the box office, but now they have this new income.
Yeah, but that's $8 a month for only Disney Plus.
Yes.
For $13 or $12.99, however you want to say it, is you get Disney Plus, Hulu Plus, and ESPN Plus.
Yeah. So if you're talking
$11.99.
Yeah.
Oh, they changed it? Okay. Well, either way, there's still more money they're going to make.
Yeah. 50 million subscribers, we'll say $10 a pop on average, and you're making $500 million a month from your users.
And that's only counting if you go up to 50 million.
No, they have 50 million. That is their subscribers.
No, it's still growing though.
Yeah, I was going to say they're probably going to continue.
Oh yeah, they're
growing.
still growing. That's not going to change.
There will be more subscribers.
Well, yeah, because
these older generations who, we grew up with the old school Disney films, and of course we still like to watch those. And of course Disney now, with the Disney Plus app and everything like that, they opened up the vault. So everything that was put into the vault 20, 30 years ago is now available. So you're going to see a huge influx with all of the people who are from that generation who are going to want to watch those movies again.
Yeah. What I'm curious about, though, is kind of the awards. So so a bunch of the awards, not ceremonies, but whatever you want to call it. Yeah, award shows. There you go. That's a better word for it. They changed all of their criteria to now be able to include non-box office released movies. Oh, temporarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
then how is that going to work?
I think it's kind of fair given how everything's going. I know there's going to be some movies that were released at the end of the year that are pushed to next year, but that just gives those movies and those actors chances 2021 awards. So like the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, you have a chance to get those either this year or next year based on when your movie's released. But given how everything's going, giving people the option to, yeah, your thing just went straight to streaming, we're not going to penalize you because it wasn't your fault. Like, that seems fair.
No, absolutely, because there's been plenty of movies that went straight to streaming that I've watched, considering the quarantine and everything. Been able to watch a lot of movies, and there's a lot of them that I would not consider like B-rated movies or non-mainstream. They're really good flicks, and they should definitely be accounted for.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing. So now you've actually opened up the door to streaming only sites like Netflix, who makes their own movies. So is that actually going to hurt some of the movies that would not, would have had a box office debut?
Maybe, but at the same time, if I was in the position of, being a director, producer, actor, whatever, I would welcome the extra competition.
Yeah, and I think that actually might bring about a bigger discussion of, is it fair that the Academy Awards and Golden Globes only cater to box office releases? Because, I mean, you have not just Netflix, but Disney Plus is now starting to make their own movies and their own series. You have Amazon's putting out their own movies and shows, and those
Hulu has the as well.
Yeah, and all those streaming services are now creating their own movies that they're not B and C movies. These are big movies with big actors and big budgets, and like should we then ask ourselves, should these award shows be open to all streaming services all the time, or should they go back to box office only?
I believe that they should, because the way the society is moving towards the streaming services, and going to the movies is still going to be a thing, albeit it might not be a huge thing like it used to be, or a requirement in order to watch these movies. But now that society has adopted streaming services and things like that, I think it should all be included.
So here's my other question then. With all of that, since like you had said, society's changing and all of that type of stuff, does anybody really care about the award shows anymore?
Of course not.
There you go.
I mean,
come on, think about it. We're not the ones getting anything for it.
Well, no one's getting paid for it. That's the funny thing. The actors don't. I mean, the actors get it kind of in the long run as a resume builder, so they can get more money. You could say they've won this award, but they don't get something specific for the award itself.
Yeah,
you don't want a trophy.
Well, I mean, yeah, and like you're saying there, Katie, like the actors get that little extra recognition. It helps them get their next movie deal, or pull for more money in the next movie deal. And the subset of people that watch movies specifically because they won an Academy Award or a Golden Globe, like those number of people is fairly low, I would imagine.
Yes and no.
Yeah, look at Rotten Tomatoes though. Every critic view that's high has a low consumer rate, and vice versa.
Yeah. So it's not exactly, relative.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. I'm interested to see how this award show goes for next year and what all now gets included, because Netflix released The Irishman they released it directly to streaming and box office, and then it got put up for awards and almost won for Best Picture. So, I'm interested to see what all happens here.
Yeah, and it definitely had mainstream actors and stuff in it too, so.
Sounds like a fun investment on how the joy of 2020 is working out with our lives.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
All right, guys, well, we got to wrap it up here, but I definitely want to hear everyone's comments, questions, and concerns to our conversation. I appreciate Josh and Kyle for hanging in there with me and talking about what we love the most is just sitting around, being lazy, and getting to watch movies.
Good times.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys. Love ya.
Bye.